Months had passed since Charlie's first hard-won victory. Montgomery Industries was transforming. The vulnerable giant he inherited was now a lean, innovative powerhouse. The tech platform he and Elena had built from the ground up wasn't just working. It was a roaring success, praised by investors, lauded by the media, and attracting global partners. But in the world of high-stakes business, success is a moving target. Charlie knew that Silas Blackwood, though humiliated, was far from defeated. He was a shark circling in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike again. Blackwood wasn't just a corporate raider anymore. This had become personal. He began quietly assembling a new plan, targeting the company's most valuable division, aiming to sabotage their next major product launch. A blow like that could cripple them, undoing all the progress they'd made. But this time, Charlie was different. He wasn't the reactive, cornered kid from before. He had been studying Blackwood, dissecting his every move, learning his playbook, and most importantly, learning from his own past mistakes. He remembered his grandfather's lessons, not as abstract wisdom, but as practical tools for a war he was now fighting. He devised a new strategy. He wouldn't just react to Blackwood's attacks, he would get 3 steps ahead. The day of Blackwood's final, desperate attempt arrived. It was meant to be the masterstroke that brought Montgomery Industries to its knees. But Charlie didn't just defend the company, he flipped the entire chessboard. Just as Blackwood's sabotage was set to trigger, Charlie called an emergency board meeting. He didn't talk about Blackwood or his schemes. Instead, he unveiled a groundbreaking international partnership he had been secretly negotiating for weeks. This wasn't just any deal. It was a game changer, a move that would make Montgomery Industries indispensable in the global market. The announcement sent shockwaves through the industry. The board, seeing the sheer brilliance of the move, backed him unanimously. Blackwood's plan was instantly obsolete. He had no leverage, no angle, no allies left to turn to. He was completely outmaneuvered, exposed, and cornered. The world finally saw him for what he was, a ruthless but ultimately defeated adversary. His empire of manipulation crumbled, not with a bang, but with a silent retreat into irrelevance. As the corporate dust settled, Charlie finally had a moment to breathe, to reflect. He stood in his grandfather's office, looking out over the city. The journey had been brutal, terrifying, and utterly exhausting. He had faced down his worst fears and pushed himself beyond limits he never knew he had, but through the fire he had been forged into something new. The bewildered teenager who had inherited an impossible burden was gone. In his place stood a confident, capable leader who had earned not just wealth, but respect, loyalty, and a profound sense of purpose. Eleanor, who had been his anchor and guide through the storm, stood beside him. She was no longer just a consultant. She was his most trusted partner, his friend. "You know," she said, her voice filled with pride, "you didn't just inherit an empire, Charlie. You made it yours." Charlie smiled, a genuine, earned smile. He looked at the sprawling city below, a landscape of endless possibilities. "I didn't just inherit it," he replied, his voice steady. "I became the leader my grandfather believed I could be. And this is just the beginning. There's so much more to build." The headlines that once mocked him now celebrated his triumph. Teen CEO turns crisis into victory. The boy who beat Blackwood, Charlie Montgomery, visionary leader at 18. But the words on the page no longer held the same power over him. The fame, the public opinion. It was all just noise. He had learned the real value of his inheritance. It wasn't the money, the buildings, or the stock price. It was the legacy of resilience, the challenge that had forced him to grow, and the unwavering belief of the people who stood by him. From that day forward, Charlie led Montgomery Industries with a potent combination of courage, intelligence, and heart. The empire was no longer just a fortune. It was a symbol of what's possible when you refuse to give up, a testament to the extraordinary power of believing in yourself, no matter how impossible the odds may seem. As the sun set over the skyline, casting long shadows and painting the clouds in hues of orange and gold, Charlie knew one thing for certain. He was ready for whatever came next. He was ready for the future. And that, my friends, is the story of Charlie Montgomery, a journey from heir to hero. It's a powerful reminder that our greatest challenges often forge our greatest strengths. What did you think of Charlie's final move against Blackwood? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of strategy, ambition, and triumph. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.